Wow, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction narrated and written by Janet Bonilla. This is the fourth part too, a slow reveal, so if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the previous parts. Please leave a like and comment to show support. And other than that, I hope you enjoy. Hey, Ladybug, I, here. Carapace hesitated, unable to hide his surprise. Oh, I almost forgot about the Miraculouses. Thank you. You didn't have to, she said, thankful that someone reminded her to get the butterfly Miraculous from the police station. It wasn't that hard. Bye, I'll see you around, he said while giving her his Miraculous and walking away towards Alia. He looked almost sad. I wonder what's got Nino down in the dumps. It's probably nothing, she wondered, zipping away to return the Peacock Miraculous, along with the others that had been in use that day. Except for Hawkmoth's, the police had already taken him away, and she wanted to make sure he was dealt with before she went to take his Miraculous. The streets that were once filled with news reporters and photographers were slowly clearing up. Ladybug would probably stay out there for longer, just to reflect on the day. It was about an hour or so since they defeated Hawkmoth. Ladybug and Chat Noir were sitting up on a rooftop talking. It was drizzling outside. The evening sky felt gloomy and asleep. So, what happens now? Chat asked, putting one hand in front of him to feel the drops of rain that fell. I don't know. For sure I have to give the butterfly Miraculous back to Master Fu, but that can wait a bit, Ladybug said. She wanted to talk to Chat more before leaving to get the butterfly Miraculous. Do you think we'll have to give our Miraculouses back too? Chat Noir asked, worry etched on his face. He had such a great time the past few years, not only with Plague, but with Ladybug too. Maybe. I'm not sure. One thing is for sure though, if we do have to give them back, I'll miss the time I had with you, Chat Noir, she said, putting a hand on his shoulder. They were both now shiny wet from the rain. Thanks, Ladybug. I'll miss you too, he confessed, giving her a quick hug. Chat Noir, Who were you talking about earlier? The reason you haven't been, calling me your usual nicknames. Of course, she knew, but she just wanted to see how he would react, and how he felt about her, about Marinette. Oh, I... There's this girl. His mouth immediately shaped into a broad smile. Girl? Ladybug blushed. She didn't know she was actually interested in Chat. If she had never found out his identity, or if she never hung out with Chat Noir as Marinette, she might have actually been jealous. Deep down, she cared for him more than she knew. He was absolutely more than a partner. Sure, he was always there to fight crime with her, but he was also always there to comfort her. He was always there to make silly puns with her. He was just always there. Yeah, I'm sure if you, got to know her, you too would also like her very much. Like her? So he didn't love her? That was a bit of a relief. Getting Adrian Agreste to like her was already making her cheeks feel like it was summer. Who knows what butterflies she'd get if Adrian confessed his love to her. Now, can we talk about that fight? Chat Noir longed to talk about it sooner or later. I don't know what to say. Just, wow. She chuckled, thinking of the final battle they had not too long ago. Wow is right. I can't believe we actually did that. Though it was mostly Renat Rouge and Queen Bee who had the upper hand, Chat said, relieved of his duties at last. Don't forget about Carapace. Apparently, Hawkmoth almost saw us detransformed. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't even be here right now, Ladybug said. Yep, he was a big help. They all were. We definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I wasn't even prepared. I was just chilling at home, watching TV, and then my Kwame called me over to look at the news. We barely had any time to do anything. I know, right? I didn't even have time to put on my lucky socks, Ladybug joked. She forgot she wasn't Marinette at the moment because she always had her conversations with Chat. She got used to talking to him, even if she wasn't transformed. Chat continued. Maybe we did just fine because of my lucky charm. He laughed, pulling out the colorful lucky charm Marinette gave him, further proving to Marinette that he was Adrian. Wait, did you say lucky socks? He thought he heard someone else mention something like that. But who? Oh, yeah, it's nothing, she said, flapping a hand. That's when Chat Noir realized it. Marinette. I'm sure there are plenty of girls who have lucky socks, but just in case, he thought to himself. Hey, Ladybug, random question, but how do your lucky socks look? He swallowed, not sure if he actually wanted to hear her answer. Oh, nothing special. Just a pair of pink socks with a flower design on them. She smiled faintly, finally realizing her mistake as she said it. Oops. Is this true? Is my princess Milady? Chat Noir was a bit flustered by this discovery, but he didn't have enough evidence to really say she was Marinette, especially if his evidence was just some phony socks that happened to look the same as Marinette's. Ladybug interrupted his thoughts by saying, I have a quick question for you, Adrian. What do you think about Marinette Dupin-Chang? She teased, scooting a bit closer to him. There was quite a few things wrong with her sentence. Most important is the fact that she called him Adrian. What? He gulped, then continued. Well, she's a classmate of mine. She's very nice, and she's a talented designer. He was still flustered because she called him Adrian, but also he didn't think Ladybug would be so bold as to mention her civilian form in a conversation. That is, if it actually was her. But why would she bring up some random girl? unless Marinette wasn't a random girl. Really? That's it? I thought you visit her balcony sometimes, too, she said, acting confused. Okay, that was it. She was Marinette. Who else would know he visits her balcony? He never mentioned that to anybody, except Plag and Marinette, of course. That's, well, you see, he tried explaining, but for some reason, he couldn't utter a proper sentence. She knew he was taken off guard at the fact that she referred to him as Adrian. Plus, he himself probably knew who she was now. Before she let Shaq continue, Ladybug dropped down into the alley they were sitting right below, taking him with her. Milady, what are you doing? He called her Milady. If he didn't know before, he definitely knew who she was now. Ladybug was very nervous, but she grabbed his face and gently and started kissing him passionately. She made her hands down to his shoulders and locked her fingers together around his neck. He was surprised, but got the message. He leaned into and gently placed his hands on her hips, continuing the kiss. What do you think about this Hawkmoth fight? Apparently, Hawkmoth is gonna be revealed on the news Wednesday night. Can you believe it? Alia exclaimed, looking at the news post. Who do you think he is, Nino? What? Me? Why would you ask me? I wouldn't know. Why do you think I know? Nino said, hyper aware of her question. I never said you did. Alia laughed it off. What about you, Marinette? Yeah, great. Marinette shooed her away with her hand, paying attention to her phone rather than Alia. Girl, who are you talking to? She tipped Marinette's phone towards her a bit. The only thing she could see was the contact name. What is this? You're talking to Adrian? What happened between you two over the weekend? Alia teased. What? Nothing, Alia, Marinette squeaked, her cheeks turning a light shade of pink. Fine, then what's that cat emoji in his contact name? Care to explain? That? She pursed her lips and crossed her arms. It's just an inside joke we have, Marinette said, waiting to see if Alia believed her. Really? How long have you been talking? Alia said enthusiastically. Well, she was talking to Chat Noir as Marinette for years. No. They only really got to know each other like a year ago. Or maybe 2? Marinette looked at the ground, playing with the charm Adrian gave her nervously. Maybe like a year? Or actually 2? Wow! 2 years? Girl, how did I let this slip by me? And when were you gonna tell me? I could have at least given you some outfit tips. Or maybe even some pickup lines. Then you could tell me about all the dates you went on. Alia ranted. Alia, we were just getting to know each other back then. We weren't dating or anything, Marinette blurted. Okay, so what changed then? Right before the kiss ended, their transformations faded, and they felt a flash of light. Adrian opened his eyes to Marinette Dupin Chang, with bright red cheeks, and who still had her eyes closed. She opened them after inhaling the cold air of the night, and their bluebell and emerald green eyes shone, looking deep into the others for a while before Adrian spoke. "Wow," he said with a bit of amusement in his voice. Marinette was still silent, but she smiled, laughing nervously. "So, does this mean you found out my identity?" he said, a bit nervously, rubbing his neck. "What do you think, my silly kitty?" "I found out on Friday, right after a hawk moth fight, and I went to visit Adriana's ladybug. I saw you detransform in your bedroom." Marinette smiled at him with a shrug. Adrian's heart swelled at the mention of him being her kitty. "Okay, but all jokes aside, I was terrified to do that. But once the idea popped into my head, I couldn't help myself," she giggled. "Interesting. And I thought I was the only one pulling pranks. Turns out you were bound to pull one eventually. Although it was a very tasty one, if I do say so myself." He winked. Marinette's cheeks heated up to his comment. "Oh my gosh, Adrian!" she squeaked, covering her face with both of her hands. "Please, you just can't stand my charismatic charm." He gave her a mischievous smirk. She giggled. "Oh, just shut up and give me a hug." They held their embrace for a while, until Adrian started to purr. "Are you purring?" She held him at arm's length by his shoulders, looking amused. "Oh no, you're never gonna let me live this down, are you?" Adrian said, looking a bit embarrassed. "Do it again, please. I won't tell anyone, I swear." She giggled. "Marinette, can't we just pretend it never happened?" he groaned. "Or we can go back to my parents and we can cuddle till we fall asleep while watching anime. That way your little purring can soothe me to sleep. Deal?" "Marinette, how can I say no to that face?" Adrian sighed, tilting his head and looking her in the eyes. "You can't. Now, come on, before my parents realize I'm gone. The bakery is closing really soon." She tugged on his shirt a little until he finally gave in. "Okay, fine. I gotta admit, cuddles and anime do sound good right about now. Especially with all the work we did today." "You're telling me. Maybe I can get some croissants to share. How does that sound, kitty?" she asked him, wrapping one of her arms around his shoulders when they started walking. "I think that sounds perfect, my lady," Adrian said, hugging her as well. "You know, we need to find some nicknames for our civilian forms," she informed him. "Really? Why is that?" "Well, if we start dating, we can't say Kitty or Bugaboo around Alia, Nino, or anyone for that matter, without revealing our identities," Marinette cautioned him. "Okay, well, we already defeated Hawkmoth, so does it really matter? We're not in danger anymore. Also, I'm still calling you Princess. There's nothing wrong with that name." I suppose you're right. Still, it's gonna get old eventually, and it would be fun to come up with some new names. You never know. What about Mare? I hear Alia call you that sometimes, he asked. That sounds pretty good. What about you? She thought for a second until she looked at him with an evil grin. Adrikins, Marinette mocked the nickname. Oh no, please, Mare. Anything but that. Literally anything else, he spat, using her new nickname they had just concocted. We'll see. I might have to use it on occasion. She laughed while continuing the search for names. I can't think of any. Your name is too short. Don't worry, we can think of one later. Maybe I can just call you Agrest, Marinette giggled. For now, I suggest we make this trip to the bakery faster, he suggested, still not much closer to the bakery. I see what you mean. This way. Marinette took his hand and led him to a nearby alley. Oh, wait. Someone's calling me. Adrian took out his phone to check who it was. It's just Nino. I can call him back later. Shall we, princess? They transformed in unison and ran on the rooftops together, getting themselves even more drenched. Ladybug and Chat Noir laughed, awaiting their movie night together.